Hello and welcome to Industry Edge. In this video, we'll show you the power of Industry Edge and what it can do for you. Once you become a subscriber, you will be able to create a test session. These test sessions are a group of tests from our catalog that you choose. You can make a test session with as many or as few tests as you want, depending on if you want a beginner's level or a more advanced level of testing. As you start to build out your platform, you will have more test sessions in your account. So we will log in by clicking the login link, and we will enter in the subscriber's information, and it will take you to the welcome screen. In order to see our test sessions, we can select either the Manage Test Session from the home screen or Test Sessions from the navigation bar. As you can see, there's quite a few test sessions in this particular account. Each one of these test sessions is created for a different job skill that we are looking to test an individual on. So for instance, we can click on the assembly entry level, and we are going to test an individual's knowledge on count and stack, forklift, tools and fasteners, tape measure, matching, work instruction, and shop safety for this particular test session that we have created for this particular job, skill set, or customer client. So we'll go back to the test sessions, and I'll show you the ability for you to create your own. So we're going to hit Add to Session, and we're going to name it. We're going to call this one CNC Machinist 1. And we're going to save the session. Once we save the session, we have two additional buttons that will pop up. We're going to select Add Test from the catalog, and you'll see a drop-down window shows up. So in here is all of the various tests that we have. All of our tests are in English and Spanish. We have most of our other tests in French and German as well. But every test, for every English one, there is a Spanish counterpart. So we're going to add tests. So we're going to say basic CNC. Then we have a time interval function that's built into the application. 1,000 minutes basically gives them an infinite amount of time to complete the test. If you scale this number down, it becomes that number in time. So it'd be 10 minutes. So then we're going to hit Save Test. And you'll see that we have added this test to this test session group. So we can add as many tests into this as we want, or as few, like I said, depending on the level of knowledge that you want to test. So we'll add a couple of additional tests. So we're going to say we need them to know how to read a dial caliber. We'll add dial indicator. And you'll see they're in alphabetical order. Dial indicator. We want them to be able to read mechanical drawings. So we'll scroll down to the M's and look for mechanical drawings. And for right now, that's all we'll add. But we can continue to add as many tests into this as we choose. Each one of these tests varies in its length and the number of questions, generally anywhere from 10 to 25 questions, depending on the test. So once we've added all the tests that we want, then we're going to hit Save Session. You'll see that it says session was updated. So remember, we named this CNC Machinist 1. All right, so we're going to click on the test session in the navigation bar. We're going to look for CNC Machinist 1, and here's the test that we created. Now you can see there's various other CNC tests that we have listed in here. We have one that's all Spanish tests, so if I click in here, you'll see all of the tests are in Spanish. So if you have an individual that has a better ability to understand information written in Spanish, then you might want to give them a Spanish-only test. So we'll go back to test sessions. We also have the ability to create custom testing. And custom testing can be one of two different ways. If you have a bunch of tests that you have created, so we'll look at this test here, and you want to scale it down to one test. So earlier when we had the CNC machinist, we had 4 tests that were listed in here. But let's say that you have a maintenance test that has 10 or 12, and some of those have 20 questions. You're looking at anywhere from a 200 to a 220 question test. If you want, we can sit down with you and you pick out the questions from our testing catalog that you feel would best identify the skill sets that you're looking for. And we can consolidate it all the way down into, let's say, a 60 question test based off of the test that you have selected, or the test you have selected and the test questions out of those tests you selected. So we can create that. That is an additional fee in order to create that custom testing. Or we have the ability, if you have a particular job set that you do not see that we have listed in our testing suite, to come out to your facility and create a custom test from scratch, and that will have all of the test questions that you want. We will take pictures, we'll put them into the test questions, so we can create custom testing based on a particular job set or skills that you have out at your facility. And those tests look something like this. So in order to give a test, what you need to do is go to your test session and find the test session you want. So for instance, the custom test, to show you the abilities that we have, we're going to launch that test. So you're going to hit the launch button. And we're going to enter in the information for a particular person. And our employee identifier can be a last four of a social security number, or it can be a unique employee ID if you have them already into your system. So we're just going to enter in the information, hit launch test. And you're going to see this particular test we created for this particular client has 25 questions, and there is no time limit that was established for it. So we're going to hit launch test. And these are various fittings that they had out at their location that they wanted us to put into the test and then ask this particular question. Which one was the carbon versus which one was the stainless? And then we create all of this questioning for you, select the right answer and the wrong answers, and we place those in there. And so we went through this particular facility, and they said these are the items that we need to demonstrate, or the particular applicant needs to demonstrate that they have some of this knowledge or all of this knowledge. And you'll see some questions don't have images, they're just strictly questions. As we go through these, these are all pictures of items that we took out at their facility, their particular flanges that they have out there, various pipes and flanges that they had. And this is all image work that we created with them in a partnership. And so they felt that they were getting a better qualified candidate to work, and they were reducing their turnover out in their pipe yard. Once you complete it, it brings it back to the test session, and it shows you that you've completed it and you answered all 25 questions. In order to see those results, the employee does not see those. Only you, the subscriber, sees that information. So we go back into the account, and you can look it up various ways, either through the participants or the reports. And we're going to say reports, and we're just going to look for Daniel. And we took the test today, so if you know the date or date range, you can adjust it. Hit preview report, and here's the test that I took, and the score, the date that I took the test. And if you want a more detailed information, you're going to select the view, and it's going to give you a breakdown of the test. So I got 7 out of the 25 correct. It took me 1 minute and 37 seconds to complete the test. We break down the questions into easy, moderate, and hard, and then we define those. So you see that you have 2 out of the 8 were easy that I got correct, 3 out of the 11 that were moderate, and 2 out of the 6. You can see the individual question. You can see the image that was associated with that particular question. if you click on the image link, and you can see whether or not I answered it correctly and what the answer was that I did give, even if I answered it incorrectly. So if you need to identify areas that the individual needs to work on, you can say, hey, here's the results. You need to work on your understanding of measurements or fractions, or you need to identify pipe better. These are the items that you need to address. So, and you'll see that we have the ability to go through all of the questions by clicking through the page navigation bar. You can export this information in various formats, PDF, Excels, and so forth. So that's how you review the report for that particular individual. And so we're going to go back to the test sessions. So when you initially become a subscriber, none of these are in here. You will create all of these test sessions depending on the jobs that you have at your particular facility. Or if you're a staffing company, you can create tests based off of particular customers so that you sit down and partner with those customers and say, hey, we have this capability. What would you like us to put tests together so that when we send the information over, you can see that these individuals have at least basic skill sets or sometimes a more defined skill set for this particular job. So that is the power of Industry Edge and its capabilities and what we can do for you once you become a subscriber. So please give us a call or email us. You can find all of our information on our website and subscribe to our YouTube page. And we appreciate your time. Thank you.